Hello, my name is Jessica Franco, and I'm a graduate student at the University of Rhode Island. This is my screencast demonstrating strong reading comprehension skills and annotating. Let's begin. While reflecting on the genre week and the reading from teaching young adult literature today, I noticed that there was little discussion of teens with disabilities in YA literature. This gap made me wonder, where are these novels in library collections? Why aren't they talked about more? How do these novels affect teens with disabilities and their typically abled peers? All of these questions cannot be answered in one journal article. However, answers can be gleaned from continuous reading on the topic. To find insight, I did an advanced search using a number of EBSCO databases. EBSCO offers a number of databases on varying topics, so I selected all of the education, literature, and library databases available to URI students. Afterwards, I typed in disabilities, inclusion, and literature as my search terms. To keep the information current, I limited the results to publications from the past 5 years. In doing this, I found the article Inclusive Literature in the Library and Classroom, The Importance of Young Adult and Children's Books That Portray Characters with Disabilities by Emily Wapperer. The article is from 2011 and was published in Knowledge Quest. To truly know if I wanted to read the article, I checked the abstract and publication date. By reading the abstract, I got to preview whether the article had answers to my questions. In addition, the publication date helped me understand whether this information will be current and accurate to what professionals in the field are experiencing currently. After this analysis, I was convinced I wanted to read the article and download the full text PDF. I do most of my reading online with a program like Mendeley or Adobe Reader. These programs allow me to highlight and annotate my thoughts as I read. For this article, I chose to annotate with Mendeley. As you will see, my highlights and annotations are frequent. When reading, I like to highlight in 4 categories. First, I highlight main ideas of a section or topic. This allows me to better remember the key points of an article and serves as a reminder when I review it again later. Next, I highlight things I agree with or excite me. I love finding a well-written thought or idea that I agree with. I like to highlight them in case I want to use them as quotes in future papers or tweets. For example, I really liked the section where the author talks about how typically abled teens get a better understanding of their peers through this type of diverse literature. In addition, I also highlight things I disagree with or question. Not every publication is perfect, and sometimes I disagree with an author or question their statements. In addition to highlighting these sections, I like to add a note to explain why I disagree with the author. For example, in this article, the author recommends literature about people with disabilities should always be contemporary realistic fiction to provide the best and most realistic window mirror experience. However, I find that fantasy and science fiction with contemporary realistic elements can sometimes provide an escape while still being relatable. For example, the novel Mothership by Martin Leaked and Isla Neal, which is about pregnant teens in space. Finally, I like to highlight resources to investigate. As I stated, a single resource will never answer all of your questions. Often it will answer some and prompt you to ask others. When reading, I love to highlight the resource they use or recommend what I would also like to read. Highlighting them makes it easier to pick them out when I go to continue my research. This article had an entire section of recommended references for people to read if they are still interested in the topic. If possible, I would have a different color for each of these highlights. However, Mendeley does not allow multiple colors. While highlighting, I will often add comments. Mendeley condenses the notes into a small speech bubble. This is great because I can annotate to my heart's content without worrying about notes and blocking the text. While reading this text, I learned novels about teens with disabilities have grown a lot in the past few years. Quality novels are hard to find in this category, but they are out there. The article provides great advice for evaluating and choosing these novels for your collection. It also discusses why these books are important for both teens and disabilities and their typically abled peers. Teens find reflections of their lives and windows to new experiences through novels. Having a diverse collection of books will help them relate to the story, as well as allow typically abled teens to become more comfortable with their peers with disabilities. After the reading, I was left with a few questions. For example, the article discusses assistive text, which has me wondering about high-low books with high content and low reading level. Fortunately, the article provided numerous resources for me to continue my research and continue learning. Thank you for listening to my screencast. I hope you learned something about the way that I study and annotate my literature. And I hope you picked up some good tips for when you go to read your own articles and do your own research. Have a wonderful day.